Gambling in small doses can be fun, but be careful. Did you know you can gamble in The Sims free? I didn't until a couple of months ago when I was browsing the Sims free store and found Lucky Palms. This world, if you purchase the gold edition, comes with a casino complete with slot machines, a funny blackjack robot, and a wishing well. I guess a wishing well could be considered gambling. So I decided to do a homeless challenge in this neighborhood, but with a twist. We'll start off homeless, I assume because we've lost everything due to a gambling addiction, gaining all our money from the casinos, raising a family, probably at the casino, but unlike my other homeless challenges, once the year is over, which will be, as always, summer to summer, 4 sim weeks, 28 sim days, we will not be remaining homeless. With whatever money we have at the end of this challenge, we will be purchasing whatever house we can afford. The housing market. The ultimate gamble. Regular blusters know when it's the start of a new challenge, it's the start with our main man, Crunch. Crunch High Roller. Professional gambler and local homeless man. Do these things go hand in hand? I don't know. I went to Vegas and just watched my sister play slots. Lucky is definitely going to be a useful trait, that's for sure. In terms of other traits, I've no idea. Heavy sleeper was good in my last homeless challenge when Buster was sleeping in the clubs, so this will be useful for sleeping in the casino. And contrary to previous challenges, I'm actually not going to give Crunch loves the outdoors. Instead, he will have hates the outdoors. Once we're in that casino, I do not plan on leaving it much. And his last two are Genius and Computer Whiz. Swimming in cash seemed like a no-brainer for this challenge. Let's get started. We start in the same way, fencing off the lot and setting the money to 0, and legging it to the casino. That last bit's specific to this challenge. But this town is great, and I would love to play it casually. But in order to start gambling, we need money, and we had none. I hadn't thought that through. But how could I make money? Fishing? Junk? Collecting? No, Crunch High Roller isn't an outdoors man. So we headed to the library and solved the unsolvable for a couple of hours, earning him 184 simoleons. With some money to gamble with, it was back to the casino for our first game of blackjack. I couldn't really tell if Crunch was doing well, but he had been at the table for hours. You can play in different ways at the blackjack table, like most interactions in The Sims 3. Moderate, conservative, aggressive, and count cards. We were sticking for moderate for now. It's our first game. Later we'll mix up gameplay, but let's play it safe for now. Up here is actually where we can see how well we're doing, and Crunch is not doing well. Crunch walked away from the table, losing 20 simoleons. We've still got a long ways to go before our dream home. And some of these homes are really nice. There was a sign implying food in the casino, but there wasn't any. I don't know where we were going to eat, but at least with the heavy sleeper trait, Crunch was able to sleep without any issues of waking up. The lack of food was upsetting, because I had to leave the casino. But we did get to explore this beautiful town a little bit, and browse for a future home. Once back at the casino, I had Crunch play the slots for a while. At first, he was on a real losing streak, but the slots increased his gambling skill a lot quicker than blackjack did. Apparently, Sims just play and play and play and play the slots until you tell them to stop. Which worked in Crunch's favour, as eventually his losing streak ended and he was on fire! Winning game after game, until it went cold. Like I said, Sims will just play slots until they can't anymore. But we did gain 6,000 simoleons. This is looking promising. Perhaps it's time to start looking for a potential mate for Crunch, to start a family, then get them gambling, to get even more money. we had to go off the lot again. Because casinos typically don't have showers. That I know of. Now that we actually had money, we could treat Crunch to a meal I wanted to get him yesterday at the bistro. We even stayed for dessert today. But then it was back to the casino for high-stakes slots. One of our options for the slots and blackjack machine is hack the machine, which is something we'll do, don't worry, we'll get to it. Today's gambling was nowhere near as successful as yesterday's. Yesterday was something else. Until Crunch won 5,000 simoleons. Twice. I guess I spoke too soon. Today's ending total was 16,000. And after some sleep, and helping a pregnant lady, it was back for more high-stakes slots. And Crunch gained level 5 gambling. But he was hungry, so it was back out again. I wish this casino came with food. Gah! Crunch is back home! I'm a fraud! Shut everything down! I didn't know where the wishing well was. Turns out it's here. Crunch wished for money. But nothing happened. But when wishing for love, a frog jumped out and turned into this random man, leaving us with this frog moodlet. I've never seen that before. We kissed Frogman goodbye and headed back to the diner, but not before stealing a lucky coin, giving us this Aces moodlet. I wanted to send Crunch back to the casino to spend his lucky coin, but he had too many negative moodlets. I wanted to deal with them first. I had a good feeling about today, and I wanted to make the most of it. I was wrong. We finished the day with only about 450 more simoleons than when we started. So I sent Crunch back to the wishing well, because I guess wishing is a form of gambling, and tried to steal more coins, and wished for love again. Crunch is a bisexual king, and does love his froggy lover. But we are trying to start a family, and unfortunately Froggy Lover cannot provide Crunch with the children we need for this challenge. He can help us gamble, so maybe he'll join the family in the future. Crunch was unsuccessful at scoring any more lucky coins, or another lover, so it was back to the casino, where we'd have more luck at anything, really. I thought Crunch was a lucky sim, but I guess not so much, because once we left the casino again, we only had about 90 simoleons in total this afternoon. The previous day, Crunch had met a woman named Naomi, but got distracted by a phone call and napping, so couldn't get to know her. So naturally, it was time to visit her at her very strange house. Maybe we'll be more lucky in love today than we will with money. Although they didn't reach any romantic status, they did manage to make friends and slept on her couch for a few hours before she kicked Crunch out and Crunch headed back to the casino. Today, it was time to brave more blackjack. Crunch hadn't played blackjack since the first day of this challenge, so let's see if his gambling skill has increased enough to do better. I had him counting cards, which I'm uncertain is a genius thing or not, because no one wants to move in with us yet, so I can't tell. It would appear Crunch was not quite ready for blackjack still, and we walked away with only 300 simoleons up. Crunch attempted to gain the attention of an army girl, Pansy. That's a really cute name. But she dislikes children, so she's out. Crunch needs to continue his gambling legacy. In the early hours of Saturday morning, I decided it was finally time to utilize Crunch's computer whiz trait and hack the slot machine to see if that would help with his gambling odds. It did. Crunch gained another 5,000 simoleons, leaving us with 22,000. Money is looking up finally. I was addicted to the wishing well, and curious to see what the other wishes did. So I had Crunch wish for power, which failed to do anything. I tried to wish for love again for Crunch, and a frog jumped out again. And out of the darkness appeared an older woman by the name of Terra Gooch. Miss Gooch was a lady, but was too old to bear children, unfortunately. But, like our previous froggy lover, I have failed to remember his name. Perhaps she would join the family later to increase the amount of money we could gain from gambling. Crunch now had a naughty reputation. Because of the amount of frogs he had kissed. I looked through the lifetime rewards to fix this, and I think we need above reproach and no jealousy in order for Crunch to keep living this poly frog lover thing he's got going on, for everyone to be happy. Back at the casino, Crunch was on fire and now had 28,000 simoleons in the family funds. And then Crunch was literally on fire after trying to hack the blackjack machine. Enough gambling for now, Crunch. Hit the showers! Still no luck with the wishing well, as usual. But it just feels wrong not to try our hand at it each and every day. It was Monday morning, and the first day of autumn. I was feeling confident, so it was time for more blackjack. Gotta keep trying, you know? Crunch's gambling skill was now level 6, but I am uncertain as what this meant, as I barely saw any results from improving this skill. But I suppose he was improving slightly, as he did walk away with 2,000 simoleons, bringing the family funds total to 30,000 simoleons. If I can get any more Sims to this family, and improve all their gambling skill, the end house we could live in could be amazing. It was just getting anyone to want to live with us. So, I invited Naomi to the casino to show her Crunch's lifestyle and gamble together. Crunch got some romantic interactions in and was able to finally make Naomi his girlfriend. He took her on a date to the beautiful bistro that sat atop the hill and had a wonderful date together, even gaining some free dessert. I then forgot about it and it went off in Crunch's inventory. He could have eaten that! Autumn is doing alright for us already. Crunch hacked the slot machine again the next day and won big once again. I don't know if it's illegal to do this, but I've yet to see any repercussions. This time it was Naomi's turn to invite Crunch somewhere. She invited him to a party at her house that night. So Crunch spent the day at her house, waiting for the party to start. I actually love this neighborhood. Naomi's house is so weird, and I'm so sad I'm gonna have to make her leave it later, if we get married. I don't know what I'll do with her cat. We spent the night downstairs in her weird house, and made her waffles for breakfast, before heading back to the casino, as we do every day. Crunch is a professional gambler after all. Just look at his cowboy hat. Crunch hacked a different slot machine today, and got to work gambling. I hadn't noticed that Naomi had come with us somehow. But despite having a great relationship with her, she didn't want to move in, or even get engaged. I thought it was because we were still in a group. But even leaving the group, she didn't want to leave her home, and her job, and her life, to live a life of homeless gambling. I wonder why. I think it was due to Crunch's naughty reputation. So getting those lifetime rewards were more important than ever. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait too long. As after a few hours of solo gambling, Crunch achieved his lifetime wish of earning 50,000 simoleons. If this was part of my Lifetime Wishes series, it would have taken us a week and 3 days. But it's not, so forget everything you saw! On the morning of Spooky Day, Crunch peed his pants at the pool. But I had an idea with the wishing well. If Crunch simply wanted to continue his legacy, why not wish for a child? That didn't quite go to plan as I thought it would, as Crunch now has a cat. His name is Dollar. So I guess Naomi's cat can move in with us. Crunch did have another lucky coin, so it was back to the casino to spend it. But Naomi had invited us to a costume party, so that took priority. I used cheats to add some cat stuff at Naomi's house, as she didn't have any, because she's a terrible pet owner. If we couldn't get Naomi to move in with Crunch, or marry him, we could at least get started on him getting children to continue the gambling legacy. Children could eventually grow up to gamble, but cats cannot. Naomi kicked us out at 4 AM, which is rude, but we'd done what we needed to do, and I wanted to use Crunch's lucky coin at the casino. Dollar stayed back on Naomi's front porch and hung out with her cat Diddy. Crunch hacked the machine to increase our odds, and it was finally time to see what the coin did. Not as much as I thought, but Crunch did gain 75,000, followed by a regular high-stakes roll of 5,000. We were rolling in dough, as it then happened again, and we reached level 7 gambling. Back to the wishing well again. But I made a quick save beforehand, because I don't need any more cats. We gained no more lucky coins. But Crunch was now a single father, raising his son, Dice, both on the streets and in the casino. I guess the casino is about to have a crash. So after 6 months, 2 seasons of solid gambling, Crunch now has over 70,000 simoleons in his bank account. He has also completed his lifetime wish. He has gained a cat, who cannot gamble, and a baby, who too cannot gamble, but at least has the potential to gamble in the future. Crunch also has a girlfriend and 2 froggy lovers, all of which can gamble, just don't want to join our household. This neighborhood is so cool and funky, Nano. I'd love to explore it more, but unfortunately, I just mostly went to the casino and a handful of other places. And seeing as how cool Naomi's house is, I bet the other houses are equally as cool. If you'd like to download this world, it is available on the Sims Free store. When it's up. This is not sponsored, as I'm pretty sure Sims team are more focused on The Sims 4. And this was like over 20 quid to buy, so I do not encourage it. Alternatively, why not watch me play? I have already spent my hard-earned Sims points, so you don't have to. So why not drop a comment for any ideas you have for this world? I have some ideas for some more Sims Free Store content videos, like a single mother homeless challenge. But I need to focus on finishing this challenge before starting any new ones. Subscribe to catch the thrilling conclusion to this challenge, and why not check out some of my previous challenge videos? But for now, I need to go eat my fancy Marks & Spencer's biscuits. Goodbye!